Emergency Broadcast, Crimson Alert, Chapter 3. As the thing upstairs scuttled out of my room, the thing in the basement began thumping back up to the door. The large imposing voice was accompanying it, croaking with every word. Please, kill me. The first thing I did was prop a chair under the handle of the basement door. Then the scuttling thing reached the stairs. I rushed around to the front room, bat raised and ready. The thing on the stairs froze when I saw it. Dried pieces of skin hung from its body. 8 legs, each one bent backward, propped itself up on a cricket-like body. Spiked raced up and down its carapace, with no pattern or symmetry. On its head was a dull gray face with lifeless eyes. When its mouth opened, it chirped melodiously. One moment I could see it on the stairs. The next there was a sharp pain in my thigh, and I glanced down to see a large red spot on my pant leg. The thing's leg embedded in it. I swung my bat down at it, and then I was on my back, the air knocked out from my lungs. Bat laying useless on the ground from me. The thing in human flesh was standing in front of me, head tilting to the side like it was curious. I held up my rosary, and as I did, its leg shot out, knocking it out of my hand and cutting my finger. Shit, I cursed, when its leg slammed into my chest. I groaned as I felt it begin dragging me. I was directly under its face, or rather, the mask it wore, when it began sniffing. Then it grunted. Patrick's Coven, it hissed, in a voice that sounded like a razor blade pressed gently against my eye. How quaint. Should have listened to the warning, little mongrel. Don't trust your senses. Those words barely registered before I felt something on the back of my head. I raised a hand to it as the thing above me watched. When it came back, it was covered in blood and blonde hair. I slowly turned around, unable to help myself. There, just behind me, was the head of a woman, one I knew very well. Her sky blue eyes that I loved so much were gone. In its place were 2 slabs of pink meat. Her tongue, I realized. No, I said slowly. No. Yes, the thing above me hissed. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you this time. But, if I may be so bold, notice this. Its foreleg raised upward, pointing at the top of her dented head. Small opening here. Looks like someone cracked her skull open. Now direct your attention, it continued, to your weapon. I did. The baseball bat was covered in blood, pieces of pink flesh and blonde hair. Oh God, I croaked, shaking my head. No, Jenny, no. Silly human, it hissed again. Silly, silly human. Do you know what a crimson alert means? It means God has abandoned you and everyone else in this town. Oh well, such is due to all sinners. Time for you to die. I felt its head above mine, the lower part of the mask splitting open as a wet, slithering slab came out. It was covered in hairy spines and segmented like a caterpillar. On each segment was a face, screaming, writhing in agony. The one directly in front of me was an exact replica of its shredded mask. I do so love a crimson alert. Then there was a creak of wood. It paused. Then its tongue drew back suddenly, and it scuffled off of me, raising up on its hind legs. Hissing, its head turned to face the door on the patio. I stumbled backward, uncaring if I collided with Jenny's head. When I didn't, I looked behind me to find it gone. I gasped, looking around for it. Jenny? I cried out, pushing my hands along the cream carpet. Jenny! Calm yourself, said a deep, rumbling voice. Little man. I spun around to find a man standing there. He was tall, at least 6 feet in height, and impressively built. His chest and upper body were bare, revealing several scars across his tan abdomen. A black beard covered the lower half of his face, and his forehead was wrapped in a white cloth. When I saw his brown eyes, I was struck by how sad they were as they regarded me. Then they turned to the thing in human skin. and narrowed. "What are you doing here?" it hissed. "You, of all humans, dare interfere and—" "Be quiet, Beelzebub." The man spat, his contempt piercing through his words. "Your lies are not welcome here." "I am not Beelzebub," the thing spat back, taking a step back as the man exited the doorframe. "Don't call me by that bastard's name, Wanderer. You know who I am." "Do not," the man growled. "Do not dare say that name, or I'll swear when I send you back to hell, you'll be left wondering if you're truly safe there." The thing recoiled, its forelegs raised, not as a threat of attack, but as a meager defense. The remains of the mask swiveled from the man to me, then back again, before it hissed and fell back on all 8 legs. It then bolted for the front door, smashing it down and disappearing into the night. I stood up, ran to the door, trying to see, then gasped, shocked to find a body underneath the shattered door. It wore the uniform of a police officer, but the face had been ripped off, revealing the muscle underneath and 2 empty eye sockets. Then the mouth slowly moved. "Police," said the thing from the basement. The body in front of me synced with it perfectly. "Kill me." "Your wish is granted," said the man who had just saved my life. Before I knew what was happening, he shoved me out of the way, reached down, grabbed the man's head, and twisted, resulting in an ugly snap. A sigh echoed from the basement. The man turned to me. "I advise you to stay indoors until this is all over. Tonight is a rather violent night." What's even happening?" He raised an eyebrow. "You've never heard of a crimson alert?" I shook my head. He sighed, rubbing his forehead. When he spoke, his annoyance stung. "I'm not entirely surprised, but I had been hoping at least a few people knew. Crimson alerts are rare, survivors even rarer. No one ever believes their stories." "What is a crimson alert?" I said again. "In short, hell on earth." The man turned around to leave. "My girlfriend," I said, making him stop. "She's somewhere out there. At least, I saw her." "He showed you a vision of her, didn't he?" The man said. I couldn't help shaking as I nodded. "Ah, that is Moloch's hobby. He does so enjoy that." "Moloch?" I replied. "Isn't that the demon in the—" "I would think by now you'd understand what is going on. You're luckier than most. Had I not been here, Moloch doubtless would have added you to his tongue, as he did this one." He pointed at the body before him. "Look, I'm an atheist. I used to believe, but..." "But what?" "Well, if there is a God, he knows everything that's going to happen, right? Then why does he let bad things happen?" The man rolled his eyes, sighing. "I am not having this conversation right now. I must go. There is someone out there I need to kill." Then my phone buzzed. I quickly pulled it out of my pocket. "Hey," I said, "listen to this." "What?" the man said, his patience clearly thin. Clearing my voice, I recited the message. "The Crimson Alert is still in effect. If you are reading this, I can confirm that the presence of the U.S. Armed Forces in the Lower East Side is real. Forget what I said about them not being able to help you. Go to them. They'll get you out of here." When I finished, I looked at the man. "Do you believe that?" he asked. I hesitated. That was all he needed. "I doubt the initial broadcast told you everything. A Crimson Alert never does. All they say is there's no time to prepare or explain. Those instructions? Placebos. Just a little something to make you think there's a chance." "What?" He laughed, but he wasn't amused. "The only part you should trust is not trust your senses. I don't have more time to waste. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to kill a man." "Wait!" I said, but he ignored me, stepping over the body and then into the night. As he left, I stuck my head out of the door and was hit by the scent of rotting flesh, burned pork, sulfur, and goat musk. Then there was another buzz from my phone. I immediately checked it out. My heart practically skipped a beat when I saw it. It was Jenny. She'd sent me a picture. Her clothes had been almost torn to pieces. Whatever remained didn't do a good job of hiding her exposed body. Her face was covered in tears, and her skin covered in mud, pieces of grass, and small white flowers. Her forehead was bleeding, blood seeping into one eye. Worst of all was that she wasn't in her house. She was laying on a concrete floor, looking up at the camera, her face clearly pleading with whoever had taken this picture. Accompanying it was a message. Don't j. I didn't finish reading it before I picked up my baseball bat, then sent a text back. Who the fuck are you? It took only a moment for them to respond. Oh, you're not dead? Odd. Last public announcement said everyone was dead. Look, I know what this looks like, but trust me, I can explain. Here, follow this map. Your girlfriend's alright, for now anyway. But we need help. Like, right fucking now. So don't be a cunt and get over here. You're not safe in your house or anywhere else, except outside this goddamn town. So, you coming? I paused, not having expected this, when a picture of Google Map, a trail marked in blue leading to the town center, appeared next. It took me only a moment to respond. How can I trust you? The response was another picture. This time, it was of Jenny, sleeping underneath a gray wool blanket, a blue pillow under her head. You can't. We both know that. I'm already taking a giant fucking risk, asking a cunt like you to come. But hey, this is a nightmare, and if we don't help each other, no one's getting out of here alive. So you coming, or what? I tapped a message back instantly. Yes. I grabbed my rosary. Then, bracing myself for both the smell and whatever else I found, I stepped over the dead body into the burning nightmare that was my town.